Okay, I'm just gonna record this. Just gonna be ranking the Call of Duty games in terms of how good their competitive season was. Um, just a bit of background on me. I started watching in Black Ops 2, and I watched like the end of Black Ops 2, the last couple of events, and I got really into Call of Duty after Ghosts, just before Ghost Champs, when like I was getting really into it, watching every event, uh, like basically not missing anything. So pretty much from Ghosts to now is like where I know the most of the you know I can have a proper educated opinion on them. Before then, I've watched a couple of things. Like I said, I watched quite a bit of Black Ops 2. Um, but before then, I'm a bit foggy. But I'll be very honest with my placements of those games. Like I'm not gonna pretend that I've seen them. So if those are your favorite games, and if you think they should be higher, again in terms of a competitive season, but if you think they should be higher, I hold my hands up. I'm not quite sure where to put them, to be honest. I'm just putting them based on like my feeling about them, like just from hearsay, basically. I wasn't there, so you probably if you know what those games are like, you might be annoyed my placements, but don't I really don't care. Like again, I can't be any more honest than I'm being. We'll just get into it, okay? So we're starting with this one, which is Modern Warfare 2019, and I think it's a good one to start on because it's definitely the bottom of the games that I've watched. It has to go last. Um, it's terrible. It was a really bad season that somehow, you know, COVID. I guess any season that happened during 2020 would be the probably the worst season, right? Because you couldn't go to events. Everything had to be moved online, including champs. Um, and it's really bad, right? But even before then, it was already the worst season, in my opinion, in terms of format at least. Um, because the CDL was brand new, and for some reason they acted like there hadn't been like 8 years of, or even 10 years of Call of Duty beforehand. So they just sort of threw everything out of the window. Another reason is 5 versus 5, in my opinion, is it was okay for Black Ops 4 because the game was made with 5v5 in mind. Um, because they were trying to bridge the gap between competitive and casual. Modern Warfare just threw that out of the window anyway. Like they were not doing that, but they kept with 5v5, and it didn't work. I'd never liked 5v5 anyway because I just think it makes the teams a bit too busy. I think 4v4 very good solid like a solid number, and it makes everyone seem important on the team as well. Um, but yeah, there's a multitude of reasons it's in H. I don't think I can't see myself throughout the course of this video change my mind or ever change my mind on this game. It was really bad. Like to be honest, I said that I watched every event basically since Ghosts, with the exception of this game. To be honest, like I watched every LAN event for this game. That again is not another thing. Is that the LANs in this one they also kind of don't count because not every team from the league was there ever, apart from champs, which was online. So again, I personally count it, but I understand why some people think it's a bit of a Mickey Mouse champs even because it's online. Um, yeah, I don't really see any other arguments with this one, so it just has to go to H. Next we're gonna go for Infinite Warfare, which is gonna have to go for A, I think, because it was just an amazing, yeah, an amazing game, competitive wise. And again, if you ask the public much, or just from a playing perspective, uh, by casuals versus competitive people, it would be completely flipped. Every casual has this like really high up, like when I say I'm not being offensive when I say casual, I mean like non-pro, non-competitive player. They have Modern Warfare one of the top games, especially because of Warzone, right? But Infinite Warfare, what a season! It was the first time like they combined all the regions, so it was a proper global pro league. I think they got it spot on by having so many European teams in it. Like it was a big controversy at the time, and then Elevate ended up not doing so well. But if you look at the time, they actually weren't that bad before they got into the league. Like they gave Optic a run for their money. The in one of the first events. So and they were the worst team, obviously. But I don't think anyone was really out of their league there. Like, okay, that sounds a bit biased. They were clearly out of their league, but I still think it was a lot more fun to watch the Global Pro League because also the way that the format worked is that if you were bad, you kind of went very quickly. It's not like in the CDL because everyone's paid. Everyone's got to have their fair shot at like everyone's kind of got to have a fair shot with screen time and stuff. So we have to watch these rubbish teams play every week, week in, week out. And okay, now they do it so that when you get to the event, they can get bounced out. But even so, you still have to watch them week in, week out. Stink up the place. Whereas in IW, it was 6 matches. That was it. 6 matches per season if you were really bad. And I just thought it was really fun to watch. Not to mention the champs was really good. I thought, well, obviously, a lot of people would say because Optic won champs, like that's why this is a popular game. But I'm not an Optic fan. I wasn't an Optic fan then, but I still love this game and I still love the champs. I think the E United versus Envy matchup was one. We all know that the Uplink was one of the best games, one of the best maps of all time, and there's just so many more. It was so fun to watch. The Splice versus LG rivalry, those matches in the middle of the season were really good. You even had I know it's very controversial with the OSA and skinny bot type thing, but that first event was fun as well. I think I'm gonna put it in S because I think it was one of the best ones, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. Next one, this is where we get to the ones that again I'll be honest, I didn't really watch them, and I've just seen clips, so I'm just gonna put this in C, maybe in B, right? Because to be honest, this is the actual, in my opinion, COD 4 is the actual start of competitive Call of Duty. For console, by the way, I've never watched any pro mod or anything like that. I don't know anything about it. But for actual competitive Call of Duty on console, I know there was a small scene in Call of Duty 2, but the actual big scene where Call of Duty started, I think, in my opinion, is Call of Duty 4. That's where even a lot of pro players that were in the scene way later on started in Call of Duty 4. We're winning in Call of Duty 4 as well. So just for that, it has to be B. But obviously, a lot of the season was online. It was still really early days, and to be honest, in terms of like game modes and stuff, just a lot of the good game modes hadn't been invented yet. So, and by that I mean hardpoint, and I think the games without hardpoint are gonna go down. Like, automatically just rank lower for me because I think it's the best game mode in the game. So if you don't have hardpoint, you're going lower down for me. Okay, this one is Call of Duty 3, and that is absolutely irrelevant. I don't think it was ever played, and I know nothing about it. But I think it's not relevant. I honestly don't think it was played. Next is Modern Warfare 3, and this has to be G for me. It's better than Modern Warfare just for the fact that there were LAN events, even though there wasn't a LAN functionality in MW3. But there were like the whole season was technically like still on LAN, but NA didn't have a season. North America, there was no North American season, so every time they wanted to compete, they had to fly out to Europe. That again, that makes it low down. The fact there's only 2 game modes as well, like some of these games are a bit of a slog to watch. And again, I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't watch Modern Warfare 3 when it was out. I watched quite a bit of it like when I was just getting into Call of Duty though, because obviously it was the most recent game before Black Ops 3, so Black Ops 2, so I wanted to watch what had come before. So I've seen quite a lot of matches from MW3. I think I understand what it was like quite well. But yeah, like I said, some of them are a bit of a slog to watch, because also no codcaster. It was before, like I said, there was not even LAN functionality, so obviously they're not going to have a codcaster. So what the casters had to do is they had to join in as one of the team, and then like not spawn in. So you could only view one team at a time. It was not great, to be honest. And like I say, a lot of the American players just didn't play. So I would say it goes into G. I'll quickly talk about COD XP as well, because I guess this was the first time Activision ever got involved in Call of Duty, competitive side anyway, and it was a bit of a disaster. Like I really don't count it as a championship, because I mean obviously it was great for Optic who won, but does it really count? Like when the game wasn't even out when that event was played. It was, and they were playing really strange game modes like kill confirmed. So some teams were just camping, and like they would win 1-0, for example. And yeah, there's just a lot of weirdness with Modern Warfare 3, but I think it has to go above this one, just because uh just because at least they were playing actual events. That's my reason for it. Okay, next one is Black Ops 2, which um I would put Black Ops 2 into A tier. Maybe controversial. And again, this is also mainly from a viewing, well, completely from a viewing perspective, to be honest. I should have said that at the beginning. This is a viewer's perspective. Um, as a comp game, Black Ops 2 is absolutely number one. But again, this is the season. This is the season, and including viewing perspective. And the reason it gets knocked down, there's a couple of reasons, but one of the main reasons is the Codcaster. I really didn't like it. It's quite hard to watch. To be honest, I don't know. It shouldn't take up half the screen. I know, like I said, Modern Warfare 3 didn't have it. This is the first year that had Codcaster, so you can cut them a little bit of slack, okay? But even so, I think it just doesn't. It doesn't justify putting it above IW, which had a really good Codcaster. Um, and they were still working out. They didn't have the see through. Again, it's not a make or break, but like all of the things that we take for granted in Codcaster now were not there. They also again, another reason is just the dominance of complexity in Furico made it a little. It was still really fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's top of A, if not, I might put it bottom of S. But just in terms of like how interesting the matches were, if you really take a look at it now, yeah, you had Optic win at the beginning of the year, and yeah, you had Unite, who were basically just the new Furico, like the new Impact team. But basically, it was just two teams completely dominating, and that's not as interesting, for example, like compared to something like Infinite Warfare, where like who even what, like obviously you can say Optic were the best team in this game, and Optic like were, we all know they were 1v1 away from splitting up, because they almost placed like top 24 or something ridiculous. They were not a great like team throughout the whole year, and I just think, again, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on it, but I just think it is an A tier. That's it. And we'll go to the next one, which is Advanced Warfare. Again, I really liked Advanced Warfare, so I'm gonna put it A. I'm putting it below. I'm putting it below Black Ops 2. But I just think it was really fun to watch. But the thing that holds it back is that like the killing was not like satisfying. That sounds really weird out of context, but I mean, like you could get 50 kills and it'd just be kind of no problem, kind of. Like every 40 kills was kind of expected, so it didn't feel satisfying. And I just remember the switch from Black Ops 3, and it's like, oh wow, that's what Call of Duty is meant to feel like. Um, but it had loads of positives. Again, I liked all of the new talent that came through. Like, for example, later on you had Kenny and Envoy coming through, and then you had a bit earlier Temp, and Temp placed second at the last event, and like good players. But the two standouts, Hook and TJ, like watching them two play at this game, crazy stuff. And the addition of Uplink, obviously, it just has it right up there. I think this is the best Uplink has ever been. Uh, it's just fun because I think the movement was the most like the most crazy. So yeah, for me, this is the best Uplink. But Uplink in all of the games that it's been in has been perfect, and I know why there's a lot of people that want it to come back. This is actually though kind of a new opinion because I looked at a few comments like from back in the day, and people said we need to get rid of Uplink. It's just not good. I massively disagree with it. I disagreed with it then. It was always one of my favorite game modes. And again, this is another reason why this is going in A though, because we had Uplink, yeah, but you also had CTF, and CTF was a bit. It has one of my favorite games, right? E6 versus Optic, really good CTF map. But in general, it was a bit of chaos CTF on this game. It was actually the complete opposite of what it usually is, which is a complete snooze fest. But it was just like, it felt like there was no real control in this game, like compared to some of the others, because you could just get away so quickly. We go to Ghosts, which again, it was a really good season. I'm gonna have to put it in B, just below COD 4. I think it could go C, but it was really good. It's the opposite of yeah, it's the opposite of Modern Warfare for me. I think where like, oh no, wait, which one? I can't remember, but it's a good game. It was a bad game with really good competitive season. So, for example, like that Champs is one of the best that I've seen, even though Complexity dominated. Optic getting close. The Optic versus Envy match in losers finals. I mean, really good. Envy's losers run in general. It's a bit obviously it's a shame they got smoked in the final, but it felt like a real celebration of Call of Duty that event, and also I think it just wasn't that yeah, it wasn't that good as a game, but like as a competitive game at the beginning, I really liked the meta with the MTAR and Remington. I think they were really fun guns, and really it just made it look really good to watch. But there's just too many problems with this game. Number one, S&D wasn't even in the game at the beginning. They always played S&D because when I say beginning, I mean like the first couple of weeks, but that's still bad. But the main problem is they had a glitch in the game where you couldn't plant the bomb, called the bomb glitch, and then the whole game would have to be reset. They never fixed that. I don't even know if it's fixed to this day. So they never ever fixed it. So you would just be watching a game and it would randomly have to restart because they couldn't plant the bomb. It happened in probably the most famous game of S&D. That's what, if you look it up, Optic versus Complexity in the final, Freight S&D, in winners final, COD Champs, Freight S&D. It's like an hour long because they keep having to reset it because the bomb glitch is happening. And okay, you could say, oh well, that was halfway through the year. What, the last event, it's still happening. And never mind that, even one, they played Domination instead of Hardpoint. There's no Hardpoint, they play Domination, which is a snooze fest. That's yeah, that's another reason why it's bad. But not only did they only play Domination, they didn't have it so that it switched halves automatically. So you had to play 5 minutes, end the game, go back in, remember the score, and obviously the production team would put the actual score on the board. But obviously that's a lot of hassle, and sometimes they wouldn't do that because they couldn't do that for every stream, right? And and you have to just remember the score and be like, oh yeah, they won by like 10 points. So not only is it a snooze fest of a game mode, you don't even have a proper working game mode. But like I said, that sounds like I'm being really negative on it. I'm being negative on the game, but the actual season was really good. Um, yeah, like I said with Black Ops 2, how it was dominated with two teams. People might think the same with Ghost because you hear about how good Complexity were. They were only good for the first half of the season, and I say only, but like they would have been better, but they had internal issues. Like you can look into it if you want. But when they split up, you you had a lot of different teams winning. Obviously, before they split up, you had Optic winning. Then you have the Denial team, which was Zuma and Itachi's team, and Saints. And then you have Envy at the end with Formal kind of coming out of nowhere if you think about it, and dominating. It's really interesting, really good year I think. Like team wise, and the teams were really fun to watch. So yeah, this is absolutely B for me. Next one is World War Two, and I'm gonna put this all the way up in A. I think it's better than Ghosts. I would say worse than Advanced Warfare, and definitely worse than Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 is almost, I almost want to put it at S. I should put it in S because I think Codcaster is not, it's not a good enough reason to not have it in the top tier. But anyway, we'll go back to World War 2. Again, I just think the amount of teams winning was varied enough. I think I like the meta. I like the bar, SDG, and PPSH were fun to watch. The maps were okay. Like London Docks was a good one. And the game modes, right? CTF is really bad, okay? But again, I think if you can't tell, I really like competitive Call of Duty. That's where all of these are quite near the top, even if I have negative negative points on them. So, like I say, CTF is bad, but it's not even close to two of the three game modes. I didn't mention Blitz because I think it doesn't even deserve mentioning. We know what we think of Blitz. Like, there's a reason it's never been back. So, this is clearly a tier, but World War II is clearly a tier above. And I think it was just a good game. I think TK, actually, my favorite team of all time, probably. Just in retrospective, though. Like, I didn't like them at the time because I was a Red Reserve fan. But I think the best team of all time is that TK team. Any iteration of them from World War II. So the original one with Theory and even the one with the Champs one. I think it's absolutely they're amazing. You just look up a TK highlight reel. The way they just win impossible games, I can't, like, your jaw's just on the floor the entire time. It's insane. It was horrible to watch at the time though. Like I watched Red Reserve versus them on Gibraltar Hardpoint, and Chino just comes in and just wins, just does the unthinkable, and they completely they just win from nothing, from no chance. So teams like that, and also like that Champs was just an insane one. Optic getting top 24, we all know, but just in general, it was pretty insane. Like if you look at that, again, Rise was the absolute favorites. I think people forget this because Optic going out top 24 is like a really big deal, but Rise were overwhelming favorites. They were talking about them becoming a dynasty, right? Like I don't know if anyone remembers that at the time, but people were saying Rise is going to be the next Optic, next Complexity, and they got absolutely destroyed. Like I think they got a bit of an unlucky bracket, but they got top 16. So when you're the absolute favorites to win, there's no bracket that's that unlucky to get you to top 16. But yeah, it was a really good one to watch, I thought. Yeah, maybe controversial. People, especially from the Jetpack era, to go to such a slow Call of Duty, it's a bit of whiplash. But I loved it. I thought it was really good. Next one, I don't know exactly which Call of Duty this is, but it's definitely going into irrelevant. This is one of the early ones, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think they played it. So next we go to Black Ops 4, which I'm going to put into low A, okay? this is a personal list. Actually, I'm gonna put it in low B, below Ghosts. It's a bit tough to do because I recognize it's a better game than Ghosts. I don't recognize it as a better season though. I really don't. I think it's because they closed off the. No, actually, it's going in A. And the only reason for that is the champs. Like, and what mainly one series in particular, that Singularity versus Envy series, loved it. It's still one of my favorites of all. It's probably my favorite series. The first map is my favorite map of all time. I think, like, no doubt about it. It's my favorite map of all time. CleanX against that Envy team, that's insane. I don't remember the name of the map. It was map 1 hardpoint against Singularity versus Envy, but I think it was Frequency. Is it called? Brilliant. It was just one of the best, the craziest things I've seen of like ever, and that one map gave CleanX a spot in the league, and look where he is now. So he has a lot to thank for that map, and so does Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, because I'm putting him in A because of that. But because they closed off the league, you couldn't get matches like that very often. I'm not saying that they happen all the time, but you couldn't get matches like that very often. And it's just, I wasn't a big fan of 5v5. I think, like I mentioned before, it just makes everything seem more crowded. When I think back on the teams now in Black Ops 4, I'm always forgetting one player. And like, some players just seem a bit forgettable because it's 5 players. I just think I think that kind of ruined it a bit. But overall, it was a really good game and quite fun to watch. I just think it might, because like I said, this is a personal list, so I might have been getting a bit jaded at this time because I've been watching COD for like a long time by Black Ops 4, and I might have just been getting a bit bored. Maybe that's it. But I just think overall it wasn't as good as these top 2 for me as a season. But it was good to see a lot of the 18-year-olds come back. Oh yeah, also I forgot to mention, I think another big reason is because of it's no one's fault, but it's just the way it panned out. The qualifier at the beginning of the year was the most fluky event I've ever seen in Call of Duty, and a lot of upsets happened, meaning that the league, and like I said, after that the league was cut off, and those players and teams that qualified, I don't want to be mean, but they just didn't belong, and they qualified at the expense of some really, really deserving players for me. So that made it a little bit boring to watch, and especially because it wasn't just the players, it was the like a lot of these orgs were dodgy orgs, right? And ended up just dropping all their players and then picking up even like crazier picks. Like I'm talking about Midnight here, right? We all know Midnight set to destroy X. There was a couple Gen G. Obviously, Gen G were very good, but they're in with those teams that are like they were unexpected. So it made it just not as a bit strange. Like I say, and where are some of these players now? Jet Li, Parzelion. What happened? What happened to these players? And that's the reason, right? Like, so you have a lot of these players. The fastballer and Beezy's, the like perpetual top amps, right? You have these players that were playing in the league that were never seen from before or since, really. So that's why I think it just jades it a bit. Whereas you talk about the absolute legends that were playing in Black Ops 2 that were still playing in all these games. Same with Infinite Warfare. You tell me like Octane, Slasher. Okay, I'll go even at the bottom of the list though. Like the bottom, like the bottom of the league. So you have like Zed or Fighter and Dens and those players. Great, like they were still playing. Whereas Parzelion, what happened to him? He was one of the best players in Black Ops 4 at the beginning. Gone. So that's why I think it's just in retrospect it kind of it diminishes it. Okay, next one is Black Ops 1. Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't watch that much of Black Ops. I haven't watched barely any of Black Ops 1. Just a few, just the few clips, that you see going around. So Leverage winning. I haven't even seen Next Threat, or that's what they were called, right? Um, yeah, uh, Doug's team, Census team. I haven't seen that those national championships. So again, I'm not that much of a. I can't really give that much of an opinion on it. So I'm just gonna stick it in to see, because it was good. They gave it's a lot better than Modern Warfare 3. It's at least 3 tiers above Modern Warfare 3. So that's where it's staying. It's staying in C. Next one we're gonna go for Black Ops 3. Yeah, and I've got a lot to say about this one as well. Yeah, this video is really long, but if you like listening to me ramble, just glad you stuck by. But if not, I don't really care. I'm just doing it, just making this for myself, basically. But yeah, Black Ops 3 has to go into A. It's not as good as, again, like Black Ops 2. Probably competitively, I think this is my favorite one. As a game, it's probably my absolute favorite. I love the weapons. I like Ban and Protect, and the game modes. This is the best game mode we have. Thingy CTF ruins it a little bit, but I still think it's up there. This is absolutely. I don't change my opinion. This is the best game we've had. Maybe Black Ops 2. It's between this and Black Ops 2 that are the best game. But there's just random little things from the season that make this one of my least favorites. It's one of my favorite champs. Love to see the EU teams doing well. And yeah, I basically was watching just the EU CWL throughout all of this. But it was great. It was really good to watch this EU CWL. But I didn't like the format in general, in the fact that there were barely any events in this game. There was like 3 or 4 events. At least that's how it felt anyway. It wasn't that good. Also, that first, the second event that like the Cronus issues all happened in. That's the only reason it's this low down. And again, A is not low down, but compared to where it probably should be, those are the reasons. I still think it's a really, really good game, but that's all I really have to say about it. I can't really think of any other points. It's just that it was a great game, and really a lot of the events were quite fun. But and a lot of the series were really good to watch. It was just the lack of events. That's why it has to go to A. Modern Warfare 2, I'm gonna stick it in F. But again, like Black Ops, actually, not even like Black Ops 2. This is of the real, I would say, like the real competitive CODs. Because again, the ones in Irrelevant don't count. Of the real competitive CODs, this is the one I've seen the least. I think I have not seen even one map of this game. So I'm just basing it on what I know. And what I know is that, again, like with the original Modern Warfare, it was mainly online. And also that TCM won an NA event. They flew over and Clayster got second. But I looked that up the other day and it only had four teams in it. And the national championship was played. So I really don't know that much about this game. I don't even know like what game modes they played. I know they played S&D, but that's all I know. So to be honest, I'm just gonna add a new one. Wait, oh no, I just switched them. I'll add it. I'll add a new one. And it's called wait, am I just adding loads? Oh damn. Yeah, let me delete these. Delete row. Delete row. Okay, yeah, so I'll add a new one and I just called No Opinion. Okay. And this is just for MW2. Yeah, I can't really say anything about it. I feel I feel really bad even pretending to know about that game. Uh, Maybe in the future I'll go and watch some good stuff if I can find anything. But for now, it's no opinion. World at War. I'm gonna go to yeah, not relevant because they played it. It wasn't played. Cold War. I liked it. I liked it because of the Black Ops 2 maps, though, to be honest. But it's gonna go here, below Black Ops 4, but definitely above B. No, actually, it's gonna go in B just because of the fact that half of it was online. But again, it has one of the most famous comebacks of all time, the Rocker versus Ultra one. I was an Ultra fan at this time. Painful to watch, but it was good. Obviously, crazy for a reason. Like I said with Black Ops 2, maybe the dominance of one team makes this a little bit more boring. Because you obviously had Ultra trying to beat them, but let's be honest, no one was really close to FaZe in this game, and that made it a little bit boring. But I just like the game modes. I think these are the three most standard game modes right now that we have hardpoint, control, and S&D. So it was good there was nothing really that's like a complete slog to watch. I really liked it. I thought it was a good game, but I just think these ones are slightly better. Yeah, we're gonna go to the next one, which is wait, let me just have a look if Vanguard is any of them. Am I being stupid? Oh yeah, Vanguard's next. Oh yeah, so this is. Wait, is this meant to be in order? No, it's not. It's been in a random order, hasn't it? Because Modern Warfare was first. Yeah, so I think this is like Call of Duty 2. So it's going to go into irrelevant. They didn't play it. So next is Vanguard. I actually, if it is Call of Duty 2, they did play it, but like, I might go to no opinion because I think they did actually properly play that one. I think the other ones, like, they really didn't play at all, these three, if this is Call of Duty 1. But we go to Vanguard. Vanguard's a definition of a D1 for me, I think. I really like watching it though. So it was actually kind of fun to watch, but just as a game, like the maps were so dull. I couldn't name you one of the maps. The controls were so boring and long, so that wasn't good. And also, my opinion on the CDL is that it just makes everything more boring because you're only watching the same 12 teams play each other all the time. There's too much importance on online league matches, which was never a thing. Actually, I'm gonna make another video on that, which is gonna be about the importance of online league matches. What? That's never been a thing since Black Ops 3, and in Black Ops 3 it was region based. So yeah, I need to talk about that actually, but that's one of the reasons why Vanguard's in D. We're gonna go to Modern Warfare 2. I'm not gonna lie, I can't really remember Modern Warfare 2 that much, but I'm gonna put it into C because I think it was better than Vanguard, and I think it was quite good. I was really surprised by New York. I don't know how they managed to win. They won 3 events. They were the best team in this game. And I don't think they were that expected to be. For me, they weren't anyway. And I really like watching them. Toronto as well. Toronto, I think most people could have said that they were going to be good. Although, maybe not, because if you remember right, they weren't that good when they had Standy. And they picked up HIXY and became one of the best teams. And I think that's something people forget. I think that's something that league teams have forgotten by leaving. By Standy got another shot in the league. I think he's had multiple shots in the league since. Maybe I'm wrong. He's at least had one shot in the league since Toronto dropped him. HIXY's had none. and Hixie transformed that team. So think of that what you will. But yeah, I'm just gonna put it in C. These new ones, it's basically all the same. Like some people say, we've kind of been playing the same game since MW as well. I think Cold War looked different at least. Um, like it just seemed a bit more meaty, kind of. And also, oh yeah, elephant in the room for this one, which is why I'm gonna do MW3 now and just put it ahead. I'm gonna put MW3. Not actually. Yeah, I'm gonna put MW2 down in D, just ahead of Vanguard, and MW3 just above there at C, because I don't think any of them are on the same level as Ghosts in terms of the season. Like I say, as games, they're actually way better, but because they actually work for once, for one. But I think they just missed something, and I think it might be this slide canceling thing. Because all the games are the same, they all look the same. Yeah, so of course my screen crashes just right when I'm about to finish. So there's not really a lot of interesting things to watch with these newer ones. Like it's just people slide canceling. But the reason you all know it, the reason these two are down here as well is snaking. It was so prevalent. If you know anything about COD though, you'll know that Infinite Warfare also had a very big snaking scandal. Splyce basically won the event because of snaking, because it was completely banned. No one used it. But Splyce came up to the event and they had been using it. They'd been just using it all the time in practice in Europe because everyone in Europe used it. All the NA teams, they were the only European team at the event, and all the NA teams said, "We don't use that. Why are you using it?" And they said to them, they were upfront about it, but they were saying we have to use it because that's what we're used to, right? And then that forced all of the NA teams to have to use it, and they weren't used to it, so they got beat. A little bit controversial, but it was one event, and you also had the skinny bot event as well, which so I'm not really counting one-off events. It doesn't really matter because like Modern Warfare 2, right? People have snaked, and it's been fine because it's been one-offs. Whereas this was every event. It was really boring to watch, especially in Vanguard, like I say, especially in Control, and that's the reason they're down here. But yeah, here's my list. I'll quickly just go through it because as you can see, I'll just put again some of the other ones into not relevant, just to finish it off. Actually, I'll put them all into not relevant. All the war zones. I'm talking about actual, variant Call of Duty here. I'm not talking about any Warzone. What does this say? Is this the new Black Ops? I didn't miss one, right? Oh no, this is Blackout. Yeah, not relevant. Uh, I think these are DLCs. So yeah, all of these go into not relevant. COD Mobile actually has some crazy events. I haven't watched it. I've just seen clips, but actually, I'm gonna put COD Mobile into no opinion, even though it's a different scene, so it isn't relevant. I think I'll give it enough respect to put it into no opinion rather than not relevant. But we'll go through it again. I'm not going to talk about my opinions that much because I've just done that for the last God knows how long this is. But yeah, next one, first one I mean is Infinite Warfare. Then we have Black Ops 2. Stick by this. I'm just going through it just to see if I've changed my opinion on anything. Advanced Warfare, World War 2, then Black Ops 3. Yeah, again, I feel really weird putting Black Ops 3 here, like I said. But it's just the format wasn't great. The timings also weren't great. I think because it depends what you want. For me, I think a lot of people in Europe watch NA only. And if you only watch the North American scene, good luck watching the CWL because this was on at stupid o'clock. I watched I only watched the EU scene in this one, and that was on a good time for me, obviously, because I'm from EU. And but if you wanted to watch something else, like forget it. Like if you wanted to watch EU teams from NA, which you should have, because EU teams were actually really good at this game, as you can see from the champs results. Uh, you just couldn't. You couldn't watch it. And if you want to watch APAC, some people might, you couldn't watch it. So that's another. It's another reason why it's just down here. But as a game, like I said, as a game, it's better than all of these. Even in Infinite Warfare is not a good game. I mean, it's just good to watch. It's fun to watch. I'm gonna be completely honest here. I never played Infinite Warfare. I saw that trailer. I was like, I'm not buying that, and I never bought it. But I watched every event, everything. I loved it. It was really good. I still think it is maybe my I stick by it. It's my number one competitive Call of Duty game. I think it was great as a season. Then next is Black Ops 4. Yeah, stick by that. Cold War, the level down, just because half of it was online. Yeah, like all of these have really, really big issues. And like I said, I actually like all of these. There's no from S to D as a season, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed them. That's why there's a two-tier gap here, because G and H, obviously, like I said at the time, right when I was ranking it, I didn't watch MW3 when it was out, but I've gone back to it. I know I wouldn't have liked it, and I don't like it in retrospective. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good season. It killed half the scene. So how can I like that? And Modern Warfare as well also killed half the scene. Was online. It was just, you know what? I'm gonna put MW3 in F, just so there's a two. This is a tier above. This is the worst game, the worst season of Call of Duty by a country mile. Like it just absolutely is. Okay, yeah. Hopefully I can edit that out. But I've just thought of something else, and it's gonna knock. I think it's gonna knock Ghosts down. It's knocking Ghosts down, and because again, I'm talking about the whole season here, so this is things outside of the game. And Ghosts is where they moved to MLG.TV from Twitch.tv. There's a big controversy nowadays about should we be on YouTube or should we be on Twitch. For me, I personally am team YouTube, right? Because I don't really care about like viewers increasing. I've been watching Call of Duty for 10 years. I'm gonna watch Call of Duty no matter where it's on. I just want the best experience. So if I had to choose, I would choose YouTube. Obviously both is better, but I would choose YouTube because you can rewind, you can pause. It's just an all-around better experience, right? But Ghosts, MLG.TV is the bottom of the barrel. It was really bad. And obviously the complaints people have about YouTube, which is like you can't find things very easily on it. No searchability, kind of. It's not like discoverability. That's what they call it. It's infinite times worse on a website that basically was only the Call of Duty scene at the time. Like you would have the odd event from another game, and you had like some popular streamers. I just one, to be honest, which is RiceGum, from like another community. But apart from that, there is no discoverability on MLG.TV. If you don't know that exists, you're not knowing that exists. At least YouTube is one of the biggest social media platforms in the world. They can change the discoverability quite easy, I think. But MLG.TV, and this was when it's also something to mention is that Black Ops 2, the game was riding an absolute momentum wave. Like so many people joined. This was the peak of Nadeshot. imagine that, the peak of, it was arguably the peak of Scump as well. This was arguably the peak of Optic, right? Like they were, in terms of actual growth, maybe not complete like total numbers. I'm sure they're getting more now, but um, compared to the competition as well, Optic Nature was the number one Twitch streamer. They took him off to be on a place where no one would ever find him. When you're a number one Twitch streamer, you're only going to snowball because everyone's like when they log into Twitch, they see your name at the top. No one's logging into MLG.tv, and it killed the scene. So that's why that's why I've had to drop it, because all the things I said about MW Modern Warfare, the same can be said by the move to MLG.tv for Ghosts. But Modern Warfare had about 3 absolute killers of the scene, and including moving to YouTube, arguably. I think that I'm pretty sure they moved to YouTube in Modern Warfare. I might have to check that. I might be wrong. I'll edit that in if I got that wrong. But yeah. Anyway, I stick by this list. This is my perfect list. Again, this is just my opinion. If you disagree or whatever, like, fair enough. I don't really care. Like, you can have your opinion. Just tell me tell me what you'd change, and tell me if I got anything like catastrophically wrong. All of this is just from memory, just as a fan of the scene. And like I said, we're quickly just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 out of 15 games that I like. You know, there's nothing. You know, that's a good record for me, because there's a lot of negativity in this scene, and I think if 13 seasons were good, in my opinion, I think people should stop complaining a little bit. Again, some people might have a complete different list from me. They might just say, "Oh, Black Ops 2 was good and everything else was terrible. Black Ops 3 was good, whatever." But yeah, this is my list. So yeah. Again, I guess I'll just end the video there. Sorry for waffling on too much. But I just I thought it'd be a good, interesting thing to do. Again, I'm gonna try and do this thing and upload every day, just to try and, you know, slowly get better and better at this making videos nonsense. It's kind of I don't know. I'm finding it kind of hard to just talk at a screen, but hopefully you're enjoying it anyway. Yeah. So I don't really know how to end it, but I'll see you in the next one.